are 2 days away from Thanksgiving, and instead of saying, I am so excited, I actually just really want to say that I am so thankful. Thankful for all of our awkward listeners. Thankful for the opportunity to be able to do this podcast within such an amazing industry. And thankful to those of you who have reached out to us, letting us know the ways that we have impacted them. Let me put my fingers at the corners of my eyes and fix this real quick, because this is not where I'm going to start crying, right? So, yeah, I think this episode, to end out season 3, especially going into the thankful season or the season of thanks, I think instead of, figuring out which episodes we loved and what we loved about them, I really want to talk about which episodes that we're thankful for, because we spent a lot of time unpacking some stuff this season, I think. Some undertones, some overtones, some laughs, some weirdness, whatever it is. So let's just get into that. So welcome back to Awkward Insurance. This is the end of season 3 episode, and we're just going to make it all about what we're thankful for. Our voices today are going to be mine, Dustin Bryant, and then producer Mac. What's up?
Hey, Dustin.
The other voice you're going to hear on this episode today is somebody that I absolutely adore. You've heard her voice a couple of times. We're going to make an exciting announcement on today's episode, so stick around for that. It's Ashley Fitzsimmons. Hi, sweets. How are you?
I am fabulous. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay!
I'm so thankful to be here.
Yes, so thankful that you're here as well, and so thankful that you're actually here, because you kind of had a rough start to the day already.
Yes.
So much so that the title of the episode is being mulled over as being quite the odiferous one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm surprised I said that word just now, to be honest with you.
Hey, it's all about being
How
awkward.
is your day going?
It's going. It was a shitty start, but it's getting better now.
Your poor husband, did he survive the episode this morning?
Yes, he survived. So just for some background, everyone, my husband sent me a photo saying, I don't think this is supposed to be happening, and there was stuff backing up into our shower. So
stuff. Is that what we're going with? Stuff backing up into the shower?
In case anybody's eating and they don't want to lose their appetite.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and plug a little insurance into this one. That's not a flood, by the way. I don't know how many times I got calls from clients that were like, my house is flooded. Oh yeah, did it rain? Is there a water break outside? No, there's stuff coming up through the sewage lines. Like, no, that's not a flood. That's water backup. But good news for you. I added that coverage to your homeowner's policy.
Exactly.
So you got it all figured out before any damage occurred?
Yeah, fortunately, it kind of was just stayed within the shower. It's like it was just the one bathroom in our apartment. It came out of nowhere. It definitely wasn't because of us. I think it was a total fluke, and I think there's a bigger issue somewhere else. So hopefully they figure that out.
Oh, no. Hopefully they do figure it out and they don't think it's just a 1-unit issue. Okay, so you're going to do an episode with Meg McKean here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And just kind of unpack everything that is the Ash Fitz life in your struggles with colitis, right?
Yeah, I was super thankful. There we go again. Super thankful that Meg had reached out to me, and she actually told me we're friends. And she actually said, I held back on sending this message because I didn't know if it was going to be too personal for you. And I said, I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything. And I was really grateful to have a platform to talk about this on, because it's not something, we don't like to talk about our weaknesses. So I was really grateful to be able to talk about it with her. And, some of the messages that we've already received from people had me crying and saying, thank you for speaking up about it. And it was really great.
Oh, that's amazing. I absolutely love when that occurs. And I'm so happy that she was able to overcome her fear of asking, or maybe not. It probably wasn't a fear. Meg is not a fearful person, in my opinion.
She didn't want to offend me.
She's a carefully crafted person. So I'm so glad that she was able to do that and that you were able to have that outlet, because I have no doubt that that's going to be able to impact others in some kind of way, because we're all struggling with something and you never know who's struggling with what. So it's like my shirt says right now, be kind always. All right. Well, let's get to it. That's enough weirdness and touchy-feeliness. I'm trying to use a more thankful vibe right now, so I'm toning down my personality just a little bit. I'll restart my personality in season 4. So let's talk about what episodes, or maybe just, you know what, never mind. I want to start with Mac. Let's start with Mac. Like, what are you thankful for this past season 3? We did a lot, man. I mean, I think I just kind of fell apart kind of at the end of September, 1st of October, because we were just running and gunning, doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we did a bunch and a lot towards the end of the year. But something I am definitely thankful for is that we got to do so much traveling and got invited to so many places to do podcasting. And people like Ash and Leah Robinson let me do a little bit of talking in front of some people, which was interesting but fun.
Have you perfected like your travel game? Like, when do you, at this point, I don't pack my bag until the night before, because like I used to before I traveled as much as I did, over the last 2 years. I would pack like 2 weeks before. I'd do laundry and make sure that whatever I knew I wanted to take was already clean, so I didn't have to worry about doing laundry the night before and doing that scramble. I'd have everything already in my bag except for makeup, and I might even, do you have primary and secondary makeup, Ash?
Definitely
Like your
not.
travel makeup and then what you leave at home? You did? Well, I did for a little while. I don't need more. But now I just have I have this one palette that has everything I need in it, and I just stick that in my bag now. When I used to take everything, and now I'm just like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit,
Exactly.
okay?
Efficiency.
So what are you thankful for?
I don't know. I kind of think the traction we've been getting, the Facebook group growing, the listenership growing, like people are finding it and people are enjoying it. And that's kind of the whole point of it. So that's what I'm most thankful for, is just that it's getting out to people and affecting people and is being of some use to people somewhere.
I adore that answer. I absolutely love that too. I've never been much of a social media interactor, and it's been kind of a struggle for me. But then when you get those little wins, like, did you see Alex's video that he posted on the awkward Facebook page where he accidentally got a double, I want to say care package, it wasn't a swag bag, swag box, whatever. He gave us the wrong address at first, so we sent out another one. Well, I guess the post office knows him so well. They were like, oh, this is Alex. So they gave him both packages. And he's like, oh, let me send it back. I said, no, just, pass it forward, whatever. And he did it. And he did it in the best freaking way ever. Like, I don't even know how to do those video edits that way. So I absolutely loved it.
That was an awesome video.
I know. And I laughed so hard. You're going to have, anybody that's listening, you're going to have to go to the Facebook page and find it, because I laughed so hard the way he just chucked that box into the passenger seat. And it just kind of bounced there. And I'm like, I don't know what's in that box, but I really hope it's not breakable. But he just kind of threw it over there and then just followed it around. I loved it. It was so amazing. So I really love being able to see that, like, it's doing something. It's connecting with somebody in some way. I don't know exactly how all the time, but I am thankful to see that interaction at times and know that, the weird crap we talk about is more than weird crap. You know what I'm extra thankful for, though? I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. I am extra thankful for the way you have supported the podcast. Like, you're like my travel buddy, and I don't want to call you like my brother or whatever, because I feel like that might be a little weird, but you're my travel buddy, and I love having you there whenever we've done the awkward stuff. And it kind of, when I do things on my own, I'm like, oh, I need Mac here for some reason. I don't even know why I would have Mac there, but I need Mac there. But not only that, I'm also thankful for the way that you've just kind of opened up in this avenue too. You've gotten a couple of requests. I'm not even going to say opportunity. You were legitimately requested, which was amazing, to come and talk about how to start a podcast with a phone in your pocket. And I mean, I think you were nervous at first, but I am so thankful to see the way that you've grown into that and just really taken it on. What do you feel?
Well, I'm definitely still nervous at first before I do it. When I was in Ohio with you, Ash, I was definitely pretending not to be nervous, but I don't think I pulled it off that well.
No, you definitely
Actually,
did.
how many times did I text you like, you better do right by Mac, you better stand by him?
Honestly, I was so impressed because I didn't give any really background to Mac on what type of session it was going to be, because originally it was supposed to be just a breakout session. So, 3 different things going on. And then I was told last minute that no, it's going to be like not a keynote, but a general session. So everyone's going to be in there. So I'm like, hey, Mac, surprise. We're going in front of everybody. And let me tell you, Mac.
I loved the photo. He looks so laid back.
Yeah, you did not look nervous at all. And I can pick up on that stuff because I get nervous. So I know when other people have like those little like twitches or whatever, and you did not look remotely nervous.
Oh, good. I pulled it off.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a chameleon. I'm so thankful that you've been able to do that. And again, just the way that you've been able to promote and support and kind of back me up when things are a little weird and crazy. And you've provided some guidance for me, to be perfectly honest. And going into season 4, you've got some great ideas going into season 4. And you know how to tell me like, you kind of got a little off track. Let's get back to this over here. And I appreciate that because I love to lead, but I also love to be led as well. I don't like everything to just like fall apart, and I fall apart a lot. So anyways, Ashley, what are you thankful for in terms of season 3? Have you been following us, by the way?
Yeah, I'm in the Facebook group. I'm just trying not to. I had deleted the Facebook app the other day because I was just trying to spend less time on social media. And then I realized I probably really can't do that. Probably need to be active on there. But am I allowed to say what I'm really thankful for?
Oh yeah.
I am so thankful that I'm getting the opportunity to be the official co-host of yours for the next season of Awkward Insurance.
I'm so excited too.
I know.
Like, we have come a long way since the very first time that we met each other in the virtual space. And that's like legitimately how our friendship has evolved at all, which is really weird because I was watching a TikTok the other day. Like, side note, I was watching a TikTok the other day that was like, it's really short. And it was like, when you met your best friend on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and now you jive together and they're like in a golf cart and they're like almost brain twins it is. And I'm like, who meets their best friend on TikTok? That's weird. And then I'm sitting here like, our entire friendship has evolved, not on TikTok, but social media.
I remember that first meeting. I was back home in Scranton because I think it was obviously during COVID, and I was in my basement. And when I went upstairs, my mom and Steve were like, so who was that? Was that like a good friend of yours? Because we were screaming, laughing, and talking like we knew each other the entire time. And that was the first time we ever spoke.
Yeah.
And they were like, you just met her? I'm like, yeah. And she's awesome.
Yeah. And it wasn't even on a podcast. It was basically like a phone call to get to know each other. And it was just like, oh my God, I love you. Like, oh my God, I love you. Like, why weren't we recording this? Like, I don't know. Like, now I don't know how we're going to be genuine on our first podcast because we just laid it all out this first time. And so I'm like, that was a lesson for me to like never call a podcast guest again, because then that first weird, awkward awesomeness that happens when you meet somebody for the first time doesn't get recorded on a podcast. Anyways, I am so thankful that you accepted, because I was a little nervous that you wouldn't, to be the co-host for Awkward Insurance as well. I absolutely love being able to bounce ideas back and forth off of people. So let's talk about an episode or two, because it's been a really fun season. It kind of happened by accident. Our prior co-host was Kat Ferris, and she stepped away from the insurance industry, and she's been doing some amazing things. We miss you so much, Kat. Absolutely, we do. So we went into kind of like this weird season 3 of having a bunch of different co-hosts. That was a totally different learning experience too. And having to balance not only the guest personality, but the co-host personality at the same time, because they're really, for Awkward Insurance, I don't know if listeners know or not, we really don't go off of the script very often. Every once in a while, we might have a couple of questions that we want to kind of direct the conversation, but generally whatever happens just happens. So with a co-host, when you don't really know what's going to happen, or you don't have a plan going into it, it just, whatever happens is what it is. So I want to start. I was really thankful for our episode with Joe Hollier. And I'm just going to call him the Nifty guy. He's got the Nifty Rewards, I think, .com is his website. But he does a lot of stuff right now in helping agents or the insurance industry or whatever learn about transacting in the metaverse. So right now it's early adoption game, how to build an avatar, really silly stuff. But my favorite thing about that episode, to be honest with you, is my dear friend Heath Sharon. He's also the host of the Insurance Town podcast. I don't feel like a lot of Heath made it onto that episode because Heath was just like, what is happening? I don't understand any of this. Like, I'm so afraid of this. This was really funny. He's going to kill me for this. But that was on his episode or his podcast just earlier this week. And we were just catching up, getting to, see where we live in the same town. And the only time we see each other is on a podcast or if we're working the same conference circuit, if you will. It's the weirdest crap ever. But I was like, so how's it going? He's like, oh, well, I'll take you to lunch. I don't trust the internet. I'm like, this feels like Joe's episode all over again.
I can't stay afloat in real life, let alone now I have to have an avatar in the metaverse and keep that person alive and functioning. Like I just got to pick one.
You got to keep him alive.
It's not a Tamagotchi. You don't have to maintain it.
Tamagotchis I can handle.
Oh, I couldn't. How old were you when you had? I remember having a Tamagotchi in I think it was maybe the 7th grade, and sitting in choir. I can see my choir class now, and my Tamagotchi, and my teacher's like, put that away. I'm like, it's gonna die. I need to feed it and change it. It just pooped.
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna take this back to the poopy situation from before. No, I really was thankful for that episode. It really was. I honestly really appreciated almost the therapeutic way that Joe walked Heath through learning about augmented reality and metaverse and Web3 technology. It was honestly very amazing. And I love sending that clip when I'm talking to others about what he does or what that could look like, education wise or whatever. And they're like, oh no, I'm kind of scared. Everybody's kind of scared of the metaverse for some reason. I'm scared of it because I get motion sick so bad in the metaverse. But that was one of my favorite thankful episodes. Mac, do you have a fave or a thankful episode?
I do kind of have, I don't know if it's a favorite, but I really, really enjoyed the Johnny and Olivia episode.
Okay, why?
I would say I'm thankful for it, but it was one of the hardest ones to edit because there was so much laughing the whole time. I just thought they were great, and Natasha Hansen was our co-host for that one. She was really fun and asked a lot of really good questions.
Yeah, Johnny and Olivia are super amazing too. They're with, I think it's Legacy Partners, the agency that is all female owned and operated. I love following them. Ashley, any favorite episodes or thankful episodes that you had from season 3?
Selfishly, I'm thankful for the episode that you and I did with Tracy Cotton. And obviously it was great content because it was Tracy Cotton, but I'm thankful that you provided us a platform to be able to get together and talk with one another, because Tracy and I go way back and we're friends, and we met online years ago and then started seeing each other in person at conferences. And sometimes it's just hard. We have a lot of things going on in life. It's hard to connect with those people again and stay on top of all of the friendships. And it's just really great that you brought us back together for that episode.
Yeah, and we missed you so much at the little Tennessee retreat that Tracy Cotton put together, which was phenomenal. And so, oh my God, if we're going to talk about what I'm thankful for, I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath because I know I'll get teary-eyed on this one. I can already feel it, like my nose feels like it's about to start running. I am so thankful for that opportunity that Tracy Cotton put together and for all the women that attended that. So much heart learning. If I could ever explain, I don't know that I would ever find the full depth or breadth of words to say how thankful I was for that. I went into it quite scared, to be honest with you, because when she put it together, it was sometime last year. So you committed to it before you even, it was you know how you commit to going to dinner with a friend and the day before you're trying to come up with an excuse not to go to dinner with that friend, not because the friend did anything, but because you just don't have the energy or you're, not a social butterfly that particular day or whatever. So it's a whole year long worth of talking myself into not going, then not going, then going, and all the way up till the day before we left. So I was honestly really thankful also for Sarah Muniz for being hey, we're going to carpool to Tennessee, because once I committed to that, I couldn't let her down. So it kind of forced me into choosing to continue to go. So I was really scared though, because the closer I got to it, the more I had some of my own struggles that I was working through. And I didn't know how much I'd actually be able to contribute to the group in terms of like, what are they going to get out of me? What can I offer? I still don't know what I did offer, but I know everything that I got out of it and how thankful I was for it. And I don't know, all the tears that were shed that week, but then all of just the support that I felt that week too. So I'm really happy that you brought up Tracy Cotton. I really loved that episode too, from the perspective of sometimes I think I know things and I got it figured out and I'm on a tangent about something and then somebody says something that shifts my perspective. Where like here at the National Alliance, we focus, and I'm sure OIA does too, we focus on new talent a lot. Like, we've got the high school programs, we've got the college programs, and we spend time investing in brand new agents that haven't had, quality CE before, right? And so you kind of get narrowly focused or tunnel vision on, the talent gap that everybody talks about. And it's like a buzzword, if you will. And Tracy kind of gut checked me when we talked about that episode that she's like, what about the rest of us? What about those of us that are still here and we are still leveling up our game? Like we are getting forgotten. And so it kind of gut checked me. And I was thankful for that she kind of allowed me the opportunity to change my perspective again. And hopefully I continue to do that in ways where I can think I got it figured out. But Tracy Lee Cotton's like, no, girl, you don't. So I really loved that episode too. Was there something particular about that episode that just, other than the connection and being able to reconnect, that really hit home for you?
Really, just everything that we talked about was great. And I think if somebody took anything away from that, it's to speak up. If you are one of those people that feels like you're not getting what you need from an organization because they're too focused on bringing people in and new hires, then speak up. Because I think a lot of times agencies are maybe afraid to make changes and to push the way we've always done it because they don't want to upset somebody or make them leave or retire early. So I think communication has to go both ways. It can't just come from the top down. It also has to be said out loud, like, hey, I need help with this, or I can do this better. Here is something I think we should do in the agency. I just think communication needs to be better all around in all organizations.
And all aspects, like, okay, here comes the shiny squirrel,
The shiny object.
Is that a
Look, a
thing?
squirrel.
No, last night. So I do you watch The Bachelor? No, both of you are shaking your heads. No. Okay, so I'll just jump straight to the point. Like there needs to be this huge shift in open and honest communication without consequence, basically. And I'm not saying go in and be rude and make, egregious demands or anything. That's not what I'm talking about in terms of open communication, but in a way to where it says, I need this, like I'm missing something. I need this out of my, goal plan, my growth plan, my whatever. Or the organization comes back and says, we're kind of missing something too. We need this. Is anybody willing to step into that role and continue the communication that way? But it seems like everybody's afraid of offending the other one because you're afraid that if you go in and ask for something, you might have asked for too much. And now they think that you're some kind of employee liability because you're asking for too much. And then the employer comes in and wants to ask more of the employee, but it's such a hot market right now. You're afraid to ask too much of the employee because they might just choose to go someplace else. It just reminded me of The Bachelor. Communication skills everywhere is basically what I was hinting at. Anyways, I am so thankful for both of you guys. This is kind of a weird episode. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is in 2 days. You guys have any great plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna go visit my dad. He moved to Florida after he retired, so I'm gonna go see what that's about.
Nice place to visit. What about you, Ash?
I'm heading back to Scranton. We're going to have a big family gathering as we typically do.
I love that, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Ash, you got anything to close out? Let's go ahead and practice our closing sessions here.
So we are all so thankful once again for all of our listeners, and we would love to hear what each and every one of you are thankful for. So definitely head on over to our Facebook page and let us know.
Oh my God. Yes. Come on over to the Facebook page. You guys, I love interacting with you guys. And I'm so thankful for you, Ash. I'm thankful for you, Mac. I am so thankful that we are able to do this and actually call it part of our job description, basically. Like, that's amazing. So, yeah, we'll just end it there and say thanks a lot for being here.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dustin.
You're the best.
Nah, we're the best. Thanks for hanging around and listening to another awkward conversation in insurance. Stay tuned for new episodes from Awkward Insurance wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to check out the National Alliance on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or at scic.com. Now go forth and be awkward. Toodles!